Hey, this is Mark watching MTC Media here at College Park. Maryland 90, Rutgers 81. Maryland was led by a tremendous performance by Derek Queen, 29 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. He played like a guy who knew there was almost 50 NBA scouts inside the arena. Rutgers was led by Dylan Harper's 20 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Ace Bailey, there's a flu going around on that team, just like a lot of college teams we've heard. As much college basketball as I cover, just every team seems to have kids that are sick this time of year. And Bailey was sick coming into the game, tried to give it a go, could not give it a go. So he finished with 4 points and 4 rebounds in just 24 minutes. I think he played like 7 minutes in the second half and called it in from there. And this was a tale of two halves. I felt like Maryland in the first half offensively was clicking on all cylinders. I believe they made 7 or 8 threes in the first half. Queen was already well on his way to having a dominant performance. They were up by 11 at halftime. Rutgers did push back some, got within 3 in the second half as they started getting going a bit, especially with Dylan Grant, who finished the day with 19 points and 8 rebounds. He was getting stuff inside, outside, has a little set shot there, but was able to get to the front of the rim. In fact, in the first half, he came down the pike, and Derek Queen made himself a business decision and got out the way as Grant got that dunk. And I thought that Lathan Somerville, for him being Rutgers, really truly only true big coming into today. 12 points, 9 rebounds. He did have 4 fouls, but that's a tall task when you're dealing with Queen and Reese the entire game. To be the lone big against guys who are traditional back to the basket bigs, that is tough. You know, it's not like Queen and Reese are stretch bigs where you get a little reprieve. Somerville had to deal with him the entire time. But I just thought that early on, you know, the story, obviously it will be Queen because of the numbers, but early on I thought the story was Maryland's three-point shooting. I mean, they did finish the game 10 of 27 because it waned in the second half. Rutgers did a really, really good job in the second half, or a better job in the second half. But in that first half, that spread the floor out. I asked Steve Pickle after the game about that, Rutgers head coach, about that. It just spreads the floor sideline to sideline when you hit those shots. And then if you can throw the ball into Queen with your defense stretched, you know, from sideline to sideline, you get a lot of lanes, you get a lot of things. Why Queen scored in those main 2 levels, that foul out extended and inside. I mean, he was a monster in there because he had room to operate. Well, part of that came on in the first half, Maryland making the threes. In the second half, Rutgers adjusting to Maryland making the threes. So they choked off the threes in the second half a bit. But that just opened things up even more for Queen. And he was already having a good game. Don't misunderstand me, but my word, after that, he could take over. And the numbers would be bigger if there wasn't a period in the second half where they kind of, I don't want to use the word forgot about him because that's not fair. The ball just didn't find him. And then once in the second half it started finding them again, they just wore Rutgers down below the, like I love to say, down below the dashes, because if you're old enough to remember, there used to be dashes. There used to be dashes in the lane that no longer exist in today's basketball. One of the things that Rutgers did, their staff did hang their hat on, was the fact that they did rebound Maryland 43-37. I don't know how much that really made a difference in this game. Rutgers had 22 second chance points out of this. Maryland, for their 13 offensive rebounds, they had 13 second chance points. It wasn't a difference in this game. I don't know if down the line for Maryland, when you look at their schedule, maybe against Michigan State or something like that, you go and if you're not efficient on the boards, that can certainly help hurt you against a team like that. Um, the free throw shooting, which Kevin Willard was asked about during the post game, they missed 12 free throws. He did acknowledge that that is a concern because he feels like this is a good free throw shooting team that of late has missed free throws. He even referenced it, felt like they would have won the Ohio State game had they just simply made their free throws. So that he did say that was a concern of his. But for the most part, with today, even some of the things that might cause you concern, it wasn't going to be a difference maker. I never thought it was going to be a difference maker in this game. Certainly, once Ace Bailey was not playing in the second half, it wasn't going to be a difference maker. I thought that Maryland would win by double digits. That was close. Maryland was favored by 8.5, so they did cover. But this is a top 4 team in the Big Ten. They showed it again today. They continue to show it. Even when they lost to Ohio State, they continue to show it. So this was the type of performance you expect from Maryland to have, and they certainly gave everyone a pre-Super Bowl party out here at College Park. This is Marcus Washington, MTC Media, wrapping on.